Hello and welcome to my page, Mama's Oil Bag. If you have been with me for a little while, then you know typically I post all of my oily recipes and any information that I can share about how our family uses essential oils and non-toxic cleaners to have a more chemical-free life. However, many of you may not know that I am finishing my yoga certification, and so I have begun to write my own yoga flows. I'm really excited to start sharing some of these with you as I move into a teaching phase for my yoga practice. Today's flow is going to be a beginner yoga flow. It is not going to be anything complicated. It should be very relaxing and just something to warm up your muscles and kind of get moving and just a little bit of flexibility. I always diffuse whenever I do yoga, whenever I practice. And so I am diffusing today. I'm using the blend Peace and Calming by Young Living. It is one of my favorite blends. It's a beautiful mix of orange and tangerine, lang lang, blue tansy, and it just is a wonderful scent that is very calming, but to me it's also very uplifting. Orange has this beautiful refreshing scent that just kind of lightens the air and lightens the mood a little bit. And so this is a blend that I diffuse pretty frequently whenever I am practicing yoga. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we are going to start in easy pose. We're going to have our right leg forward. This is kind of similar to crisscross applesauce if you're a teacher or you know that terminology, but instead of having your legs on top of each other, we're actually going to have our leg on the floor here. And while you're sitting here, you're going to want to make sure you're grounding down through both of your sit bones. You're going to lengthen your spine, keep your neck long, shoulders drawn down the back. You're going to just kind of relax the muscles in your body. So even though we are sitting tall, we still want to stay relaxed. From here, we're going to go into a center fold. So you're going to exhale and you're going to move down, relaxing your neck, looking down towards the ground. Just go as far as you can. Doesn't have to be all the way down. And you're just going to breathe while you allow your body to soften, especially in your hips. Inhale as you come up. And now we're going to move over to the right side. Right hand on your mat, left arm up over your head, and we're going to stretch. Make sure when you're going to the side that you're only going as far down as you can so that your legs are not coming up off the mat. So you should not be trying to get your elbow down and have this side of your body come up. You definitely want to keep those sit bones grounded. Both of them should be touching the mat. So if you can't go down this far, that's fine. Just go down as far as you can. Inhale as you come up to center. And then we're going to do the same thing on the left-hand side. And up to center again. And we're going to move into staff. So you're going to take your legs out straight in front of you. You're going to lengthen, and then we're going to forward fold. Try to keep your back straight. If you can't reach your toes, that's just fine. You can modify by touching your ankles, even your knees. But keep your back straight as you hinge forward at your hips. Inhale to come up. We're gonna move back into easy pose, but this time we're gonna put our left leg in the front. Spine long and forward fold at the hips. Inhale to come up, move to the right. Again, staying grounded. Relaxing your neck, keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale through center and exhale as you go down on the left. Again, coming up, moving into staff, feet out in front of you, drawing yourself up through the top of your head and folding forward. We're now going to move into cat and cow pose. So you're going to want to get on your mat on all fours. And this is where you're really going to work on making sure that your body is properly aligned. So making sure that your shoulders are over your wrists and that your hips are over your knee. So you're making great 90-degree angles here. Tops of your feet should be pressed down into your mat. Knees hip width apart. We're gonna move through these poses a little bit slower because I want you guys to make sure that you're focusing on your alignment. One, it's a great way to avoid injury, but also it really allows you to get the maximum effect out of these poses. So for cat pose, once you have yourself in a stable and good alignment, you're gonna go ahead and you're going to tuck your tailbone first, and then you're going to draw your belly in, pushing up and rounding your spine, and almost feeling like you're pushing with the palms of your hands away from your mat. You're gonna relax your neck, have it look down. Everything should be active though. Your leg muscles, your glute muscles, your tummy, all your core, it should be active. From there, we're gonna move into the counter pose of cow. And this is literally the exact opposite. So you're gonna make sure those shoulders are pushed away from your ears, tailbone is high, neck is soft but looking up, and you're gonna pull your belly down to the mat. Okay, exhale as you move into cat. Inhale as you move into cow. Exhale for cat. And inhale for cow. From here, we're gonna move into down dog. Hands stay right where they are on the mat. Just pick up your feet, tuck your toes, and you're going to lift your tailbone high. This is your first down dog of the day. You may not be able to get your feet all the way down, and that's okay. You can bend your knees a little bit. Really work on getting that spine nice and long and get your shoulders drawn back down and away from your ears. No hunched shoulders here. If you need to adjust a little, you can take time to do that. Pedal out your feet a little bit. Work on waking up that body. From here, we're going to take a little step back into chaturanga. Usually we move in through plank. When you lower yourself down, make sure you're keeping your elbows close to your body. And then push up into cobra. Tops of the feet, tops of the thighs, pressed into the mat. Shoulders down, neck long, looking up. Make sure you're breathing. Very important. Moving back into downward dog. Now you're going to step up in between your hands to the front of your mat. To a forward fold. And come up to mountain. So from here we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into the main flow in some of our peak poses. Between each of our poses we will do our flow sequence, and then that will give us a chance to do some counter poses and break down some of that stiffness that you might be feeling. So starting in mountain, feet are hip width apart, grounded down into your mat. Everything is nice and long, core is pulled in. Inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Hands down, step back into down dog. And stepping in to plank for our chaturanga. Elbows in, inhale cobra. Tuck your toes, exhale down dog. Step your right foot up in between your hands. You're going to turn your back foot at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to come up into warrior one. Your hips should be squared forward, shoulders down, arms up by the ears. Make sure that this knee is directly over your ankle or even a little bit behind it. You never want the knee past your ankle because that can lead to an injury. If this pose right here is not deep enough for you and you want to move deeper into it, then you do better just to kind of walk your back leg back a little bit and get to where you feel deep enough and set in the pose. Keep that back leg active and strong, and really ground in through the outside of your left foot in the back. Spread your toes a little bit for balance. Hands down on either side of your foot and step back into down dog. Take the time to get adjusted to where you are at your best position
It's okay if you have to move your hands and feet around a little bit. Okay, moving into chaturanga. Inhale up into cobra. Tuck the toes, moving into down dog. This time you're going to step your left foot to the front of your mat, angling that back foot out, coming up into warrior one with your left foot forward. Okay, I'm going to walk my back leg out just a little bit so I can get better positioning, keeping my hips square to the front, keeping that knee stacked over the ankle, back leg strong, spine long, shoulders down. And breathe. Hands back down to the mat, stepping back into down dog. Feet hip width apart. Stepping down into plank. Keeping everything nice and tight. Core engaged while you lower and come up. Tuck the toes, move back into down dog. Step both feet to the front of your mat. Come into a half lift. Keeping your back as straight as you can. Coming up into mountain. Right, we're going to do that one more time. So again, starting in mountain. Exhale, hinge at the hips, then to a forward fold. You need to bend your knees a little bit here. That's okay too. Okay, hands are shoulder width apart as we step back into down dog. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed and pulled back away from your ears. Stepping out into plank, lowering through chaturanga, rising up through cobra. Tuck the toes, exhale to down dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Angle that back foot out again, 45 degrees, toes forward. This time, you're going to come up into warrior one, keeping your hips squared. And then you're going to open your hips and move into warrior two. So your spine should be long. Again, making sure that this knee is not over the ankle. All of this should be active and holding, pushing down through that outside of your left foot. Gazing out over your front finger, shoulders are down, arms are long. Hips are turned, not squared to the front. Okay, to come out of warrior two, move back into warrior one, squaring those hips forward, shoulders down, hands down on either side of your right foot, stepping back into down dog. Keep that spine nice and long. Breathing in. Back into plank. Elbows in. Lower through chaturanga. Up through cobra. Tuck the toes, moving back into down dog. That neck nice and soft. You can even just let it hang. Okay, left foot steps up between the hands. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Come up into warrior one and adjust your positioning while you're here. Get your knee taken care of, that back leg anchored where you want it to be. Open to warrior two. Again, turning your hips. Arms are long, even with your shoulders. Gaze out past your fingertips. Moving back into warrior one. Hands down on either side of your foot and stepping back into down dog. Moving forward into chaturanga. Up. Tuck the toes for our last down dog. You step both feet towards the front of your mat. Forward fold into half lift. And inhale as we come up into mountain. And exhale. We're going to end with a little bit of standing work. This is a great time to work on some balance poses now that we have gotten our blood flowing and gotten things moving. So we're going to start in mountain. Again, feet are hip width apart, making sure that you are grounded through your toes, through the outsides of your feet, all the way back into your heels, kind of lifting your arches up so that you're really putting equal pressure. From there, we're gonna move to tree pose. And tree pose can be a little tricky if you have balance difficulties. So feel free to use a chair or a wall, or you can even just modify the placement of your leg. So you can start here with your toe on the ground just to start to get some balance. Maybe move it up your ankle, but that way you're so close if you need to catch yourself. You can do tree pose here, kind of for the next level up. Or if you want to, you can move into the half lotus position and really get that leg up here. So make sure that you're keeping your breath steady, you're engaging your abs, and you're grounding down through that standing leg. Arms I find most helpful either here, making sure that I have my shoulders down. You can even put them out here if you need to, or you can take them to heart center. Okay. Going to move back into mountain. Kind of stand for a minute, give this leg a little bit of a breather. I always feel a little bit of a burn in tree pose, which I never expect to do, but I usually end up going, that was pretty good for me. All right, we're gonna move tree pose onto the other side again. So, again, you can modify the placement of your leg, and you can modify where you choose to put your hands. Any of these positions is totally fine. Keep those glutes and those quads really engaged. That's going to help steady you. And move back into mountain. We're going to inhale as we come up and do exhale into a forward fold. And then we're going to move into a seated position. Okay. You're going to take your right leg, bend it, and then you're going to take your foot and actually cross it over at the knee, keeping your left leg straight. Okay, we're going to do a seated spinal twist just to kind of finish opening these muscles up back here. So with your left leg straight, your right leg's bent and crossed over, you're actually going to take your right hand, reach behind you, and take your left hand at the elbow and hook it on your knee if you can. And you're going to use both the reaching of your right hand and pressure from your elbow to kind of push and start twisting. You want to make sure that you're keeping your spine long and allow the twist to come from the torso. Don't start it up here, so make sure that you're twisting your whole torso. Should also have both of your sit bones still on the mat. You don't want to twist so far that you're pushing yourself up. Head looks back over your back shoulder. And make sure you're breathing. Okay, now I'm going to go back. We're going to undo that leg, and we're going to go to the other side. So right leg stays straight, left leg bends, crosses over at the knee, left hand behind you, right elbow kind of hooked to that knee to push and twist. Really a great stretch for kind of that area in your mid-back on either side of your spine, and where the bottom of your shoulder blades, where your shoulder blades end there, and above where your hips meet, for that no man's land of stretching. Okay, and come back. And we're going to move back into easy pose. At this time, you can stay in easy pose, or you can lay all the way down in Savasana. But I want you to take time, I want you to close your eyes, and just kind of relax every muscle in your body. This is a great time to kind of bring your awareness to your breath and to just calm your mind as you get ready for what the rest of your day might hold. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Maybe thinking of a word
that you want to carry with you for the rest of today. Whether it be joy, perhaps peace. If you're a mom, my word is usually patience. With 2 active boys, that's something I always work on. Stay here as long as you like, but when you're ready, open your eyes, hands to heart center, and namaste.